What's going on YouTube? It's AKingsCreation here, bringing you guys another helpful guide, especially for the beginners and new players diving into Throne and Liberty. And at this point, you're basically wondering what the Lithograph book is, what the Lithograph system is, and why is it used to either craft or to sell stuff in the auction, for especially in the end game. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down and make it easily understandable for you guys to understand how the Lithograph system works. Gear that you can't get in open world, and also additional resources. So I'm going to go ahead and break down how you will go ahead and progress through this. Okay, so basically I'm going to show you this character real quick. This is a equipment merchant, but don't worry about him particularly. I want to go ahead and break down the gear. So as you guys can see, the common gear, okay, this is what you're going to start out with. When you're in the tutorial, it makes you pick out two different weapons. You can either do a staff or a dagger, or sword and shield, or bow, whatever the case may be. You're going to pick out two weapons in the tutorial. Now, after you're progressing through the story, you're going to end up moving from the common gear to uncommon gear. This is your green gear, okay? So I highly recommend getting a full set of green gear so you can progress through the story and open world pretty smoothly, okay? So you're going to end up getting that done. Now, over time, you're going to get solid, or aka I'll call it gold, but they call it solid in this game. What you're going to need to do is buy up all of these gear pieces, all of them, and sometimes you got to buy multiple. So that's why I said over time, just save up as much solid, I'm gonna call it gold, like I said, to be able to buy all this. Now, the reason why you're going to buy all of this is because in your lithograph, this is what will allow you to fill up your lithograph early, especially as soon as you're starting the game. As you can see, I've done that process and completed, I believe a few of them gave me completed items. I think I hid. No, I didn't. Okay, doesn't really matter. I did complete some, as you guys can see over here. I did complete like 8 of them. But the point is, you basically go ahead and donate them. Once you buy them, you'll be able to donate them here, and then you'll end up getting additional rewards. So this will allow you to speed up that process and go ahead and jumpstart filling up the lithograph book. Now, the other parts of the lithograph, you're going to have to find a way to craft the material, like this tunic, for example, which is pretty easy to do. The merchants usually have the common gear. You're probably going to end up getting a common gear drop, like probably doing like easy boss or something. Not a boss, but like an easy creature in the open world. But point is, when you eventually get to the green gear and you're done crafting your full green armor and weapons, I'm going to go ahead and break down that part so you can understand what I'm talking about. I'm just going to use a random weapon crafter, for example. So as you can see here, this weapon crafter only goes up to blue. That's why it's a blue weapon crafter. The one's purple later in the game, you can go up to purple. But the point is, I just want to show you. All right, so what happens after you complete your uncommon gear set? What you're going to need to do is farm it first off. So you want to pick the weapons. You want to go ahead and farm for your green full set. But you see how on the right side it says crafting material, quality lithograph weapon. So this is a case where you're going to have lithographs in order to craft weapons in the first place. That's what I was saying earlier in the video. You're going to need it to craft weapons, to sell weapons, to even fill up your lithograph book, right? So how do we get these quality lithographs? Well, if you want to go ahead and go back over, so we're going to go ahead and go over to contract merchant. Like I said before in the previous video with fishing, the contract manager is very important. You got to do these contracts so you can get contract coins. Once you get these contract coins, you're going to be able to purchase lithographs. You see how I can get as many green lithographs as I want to? I have 839 coins. That's just because I've been playing the game over time. So I can get weapons, accessories, and armor. So this will allow you to craft those weapons and accessories and armor. Now you got to have the other materials, but as you progress through the storyline, it will be really easy for you to grab, okay? So I wanted to go ahead and make sure that you understand that doing this early right away, as soon as you get your full green set, will help you get additional rewards by the Lithograph book, okay? Now, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and talk about, for example, say you have additional, let me see if I can find something in my craft, in my storage real quick. But say if you have additional weapons or armor or pieces or accessory pieces that you do not want to have but you don't want to dissolve it either. But also you want to sell it. Okay, so in order to sell it, let me see if I have anything. I probably already sold it, or yeah, I probably sold it and got rid of it. So for example, right, if you want to have or sell an item, let me see if I can do one real quick. I'm gonna just buy one or craft one real quick just so I can show you guys. Okay, I crafted one just so I can show you guys the process. So the goal is, you see, if it has the symbol of the Lifthill book, that means you can donate it to the Lifthill book. All right. So the Lifthill Graph book, you can basically donate that dagger to get a potential higher dagger. So that's why I highly recommend starting out by buying a whole bunch of gold, or using your gold to buy a whole bunch of the armor pieces, especially the common ones, so you can get through that, right? Then you want to go ahead and move up to the uncommon. You can either craft them all and then donate them, or you can actually craft these blue weapons. They're really easy to get in open world. So as you through the same exact merchant, the weapon crafter, I'm pretty sure other crafters will also have this. There's an option where it's like a little bag symbol. There's an option where you can go down and purchase or craft a rare blank lithograph. This is for weapons especially, but you have to have enchanted ink. Enchanted ink can be found in the game. You just got to look that up and find it, but I'm not breaking that down yet. I will break down all of those in a different video separately. But the point is, you can get a rare blank lithograph, for example, and then be able to put that towards this gear right here. I would have a green blank page, and I will be able to transfer that page, and then I will be able to sell it on the market. If you go ahead and look, you would only be able to access the auction house like later in the game. I think it's around level 40 or level 30. I can't remember off the top of my head. But once you go to the auction house, you see how there's weapons that are just standalone weapons. These are from like guild battles or world bosses. So this is not like a normal thing to have. But for miscellaneous, for example, all right, so for example here, as you guys can see that there's precious lithograph, which means precious lithograph, for example, is that blank lithograph page that we've seen with the crafter. Now there's blue and goes all the way up to purple. So for example, there's a purple blank lithograph page. And then if you have one of these weapons, for example, you can come here and sell it on the market. Now, if you want to craft the weapon, like for example, if you want to get a heroic longbow for your build and you don't have it, but you don't want to buy it with actual real money, you want to actually craft it, then you're going to have to either farm and actually find the weapon itself in the game through like a world boss, or if you do want to purchase it, for example, then then you would buy it here, and then you would craft it at the crafter. So if this makes sense, let me know in the comments below. If you guys are still confused, let me know in the comments below. I will gladly answer it in the comments. So if you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button, and new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.